the most recent one with UAPs and
Yeah.
the congressional hearing, it really hit me just a few weeks ago, because in physics and technology, I show that on the first day clips and said, what is this? So let's do scientific method. Look, what could it be? How can we eliminate things? And a couple years ago, the first time I did this, I said, okay, would you like to hear what I think it is? And they said, yes. And I said, oh, class is over. You'll have to come back. And they all went, oh, it was just perfect. And I didn't plan that, but it just was perfect.
That was perfect.
So
cliffhanger.
Yeah, cliffhanger. So this semester, when we were looking at it, I played a clip from the congressional hearing, and the Air Force captain who was, I do not remember his name.
Like Kolsch or Bosch or something. It starts with a K. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was one of the first to start talking about it, and then he said two things that I'm convinced I know what it was. He said, number one, that we had a schedule of things we were supposed to do that day, but that day it was changed, and they wanted us to do more realistic type of surveillance. I thought, okay, so your original mission got changed that day when they saw this. And then the next thing was that this is outside San Diego. The oceans were calm, but then they saw this white water, and they couldn't understand where it was coming from. So I can tell you what I think they are, and I wish I was a member of Congress, because I would have asked specific questions.
Very cool.
And that is, there's something called laser-induced plasma strings. And what basically we can do is take infrared lasers, so you can't see the beam, and they're pretty powerful lasers, and they can be separated by maybe just a few feet, and they go up into the atmosphere, and then you cross the beams, and when they cross, that heats up the atmosphere and creates a heated plasma, literally. If you cross them, you're getting like a tic-tac in the sky. And people don't realize that all of their observations were not visible when they're looking at their heads-up display. That was infrared, because they're looking for heat signatures.
Right.
And so that's it. And then, as you also know, if you ever had a laser and a pet, you can move it around real quick.
Right.
And it seems to jump out. Well, crossing those, you can do the same thing and move it around. So I believe it was these high-powered lasers, infrared, that were being crossed, and they're also modulated. You could actually put... Oh, no. Sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, wow. Forgot about mine.
It's all good.
So the beams can be crossed, and then where do they come from? Well, that's the white water. I think they were coming from a submarine. And as the beams came up, it's at high energy, they're heating the waters, causing turbulence, boiling maybe like in the water. And so that was it. So
do you know what submarines would be using them for? Guys, if you're liking the content, please chuck a like on the video, and also don't forget to subscribe. That really helps me with the algorithm to get this video viewed by more of you guys. All right, back to the video.
This would all be part of trying to produce these to have incoming missiles follow those signatures and not go to targets.
Oh, I see.
And so it's all a anti-missile defense type plan.
And so what they saw, which looked like those Tic Tacs that just flew from the water all the way up to the what looked super fast speed, was essentially these two.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he said they went way up real fast and disappeared. Well, yeah, there's no atmosphere up there, so you're not going to get the plasma created when they go higher up.
So it's not aliens.
Well,
I think that, yeah. Again.
I don't think there were. But the other thing that bothers me is I believe this was done by Americans, particularly because that day he said they changed what we were going to do. So I think it's unethical not to have informed them,
right?
These pilots.
Absolutely.
Not maybe right away, but within a span of time. And second, do they really know now what it is? And then why is it being brought up and not explained?
Right.
So there's some issues to work out, but I am convinced it was this laser-induced plasma strings.
Right. You think that if there's a submarine down there, whoever else is in charge of, the Air Force or those missions, they would know of each other's presence, right? So why they're not explaining that it is, which seems like a very plausible explanation, and I'm sure there's a lot that the militaries have kept from us. So that's something that we're not going to get the answers from. That's very cool and a very interesting theory, which is probably a lot more realistic than aliens. As much as I like to hear that be the case.
Well, we always have to go to the simplest theory, to natural first.
Yeah, I know. It's the idea of whether aliens have visited Earth, and as much as I'd like to believe that they have, I just feel like it's not like aliens would come down here and just come up to, Area 54 and say, okay, we're here, but don't tell anybody, kind of a thing, or Area 51, excuse me.
Do you remember, I'm sure you saw the movie Independence Day.
Yeah.
I love that movie, but I'm also very frightened because those aliens are like insects going from planet to planet,
right,
using up resources. And I just hope if we have encounters, they're not like that.
Yeah, I hope they're friendly.
And even Stephen Hawking, towards the end of his life, said that we should be careful because he thought alien encounters would be with hostile aliens and not friendly aliens.
Yeah, like you mentioned, researching other planets to see if there could be life so that we could terraform it and make it our own planet. In that same respect, there may be far more advanced civilizations of aliens with planets that are much closer to that 5 billion year stars that are much closer, that are looking for planets that have the technology to do so today. Yeah. And there's a good chance if they come here, they'd want to do that to us.
And there was a movie, I don't remember the name, but Charlie Sheen was in it. It's about these aliens came here and they were increasing the CO2 emissions to make a hotter world because that's what they needed.
Oh, okay. And yes. Oh my goodness. I just got a flashback to that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was from from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but yes, I totally remember that movie.
Yeah. It was
he communicates, he picks up a signal through radio frequency and then, yes, that's right.
Yeah. And then he goes to, I think he went to Arecibo and went somewhere south and started uncovering these things. And then he his life was in jeopardy. But I thought that movie was a little ahead of its time, right? Because it was relating climate change, which people still weren't concerned about at that time, but relating it to aliens as being the cause of it.
Right. Very cool. I'd be interested to see obviously if other alien life could come to Earth, how much more advanced would they be and how different would they be? Like you said, reptiles with spaceships, very, very cool.